Okay, Chapter 5 test review. On the first problem, you are using properties of exponents, and there's several ways that you can go about getting the answer for this. So the way that I get this may not be the way that you get it, but as long as we end up with the same answer, it's fine. This 4 outside of the parentheses needs to be applied to everything inside that set of parentheses. So that is s to the 4th, t to the 4th. And then this 3 has to be applied to all of the stuff inside that parentheses. So that would give us s to the 12th, you'd multiply those, and t to the 3rd. So then s to the 4th and s to the 12th, you can combine those to get s to the 16th. And honestly, that's probably enough to find your correct answer. But then if you did go further, t to the 4th and t to the 3rd makes t to the 7th. Number 2, there are several ways to go about getting your answer. And honestly, the way that I'm doing this is not how I would have done it a year ago, but I think it makes the most sense. The first thing I'm going to do is use this negative exponent to flip the fraction. So negative exponents take the reciprocal. So this becomes 2x to the 3rd y over 3x to the negative 2y to the 3rd. It flips it, but then it's still an exponent of positive 2. Then I'm going to start applying that 2 to everything inside. So we've got 2 squared, we've got x to the 6th, y squared. On the bottom we have 3 squared, x to the negative 4th, and y to the 6th. All right, I know that 2 squared is going to give me 4 on the top, and 3 squared is going to give me 9 on the bottom. And honestly, if you know that you're going to have a 4 on the top and a 9 on the bottom, which answer has to be correct? That one has to be correct. But then just to do the rest of it to show you how, this x to the negative 4th would move to the top. So you'd have x to the 6th and x to the 4th on the top. That would give you x to the 10th. And then these two y's would cancel out 2 of the 6, leaving you with 4 of them left over. So that's how I ended up getting the answer. But because these two problems are multiple choice, you can use some of the clues from the answers to help you find the right answer. Okay, some people were confused about number 3 because it says write the number in decimal form. A big number like 91 million is technically a decimal. It's just where is the decimal point? Because this is 10 to the positive 7, we are talking about a big number. So I'm going to take this 9.13 and move the decimal point 7 places this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I fill in zeros. Again, I know this is kind of a rudimentary way to do it, but that's okay. So my answer is 91,300,000. Number 4, this is a number less than 1, so it's going to end up with times 10 to the negative. So how many places do we have to move the decimal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. 5.73 times 10 to the negative 6. Okay, in number 5, you are just adding or subtracting. So I'm going to show all of my work, but you could show a little bit less work and get away with it. The first set of parentheses doesn't change at all. Then we are subtracting everything in this next set of parentheses. So minus 4x to the 3rd minus 1. We are subtracting everything in the next set of parentheses. So minus 8x to the 4th minus 6x to the 3rd. If there had been subtraction in any of those, you would have had to do minus a negative, which would turn it to plus. Now we're going to combine like terms. So 5x to the 4th and negative 8x to the 4th, that gives us negative 3x to the 4th. My negative 4x to the 3rd and negative 6x to the 3rd will give us negative 10x to the 3rd. And then for the numbers, negative 3 and negative 1 gives us negative 4. Number 6, you are going to have to show your work. That means if you do not have work shown, you will lose points. 3x times 5x is 15x squared. 3x times negative 3 is negative 9x. That distributed the 3x. Now I need to distribute the negative 2. Negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. Then I need to combine my like terms. 15x squared minus 19x plus 6. That one doesn't require you to show a ton of work, but you do have to show some kind of work so I can see that you know that there's supposed to be a negative 9x and a negative 10x in the middle. Number 7, when I checked the worksheet over 5253, I saw a lot of people getting number 7 and number 8 wrong. So please pay close attention to this. 2x plus 9 squared means 2x plus 9 times 2x plus 9. You have to do the parentheses times themselves. So then you've got 4x squared plus 18x plus 18x plus 81. If you just try to square both things, you're going to be missing part of your answer. The correct answer here is 4x squared plus 36x plus 81. If you just try to do 4x squared plus 81, you're missing that middle term. You haven't fully done the problem. Similarly, number 8 is x minus 5 times x minus 5 times x minus 5. I have people trying to just do x cubed minus 125, and that is not the correct answer. You can't just put the cube on everything because there's subtraction in there. So what we really need to do is do these two first and then multiply the next one on. So if I double distribute with this one, I get x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 25. That is x squared minus 10x plus 25. Now I need to multiply in the x minus 5 from before. So now I have x cubed minus 5x squared. Negative 10x times x is negative 10x squared. Negative 10x times negative 5 is positive 50x. Then I have 25 times x is 25x. 25 times negative 5 is negative 125. Combine your like terms. We've got x cubed minus 15x squared plus 75x minus 125. Yeah. Number 9 specifically says long division, and because it's dividing by 2x plus 2, we actually have to use long division. You can't do synthetic division on this problem. First, I check for missing terms. We're starting with x to the third. We've got x squared and then x and then a number, so we're good. There's no missing terms. So I make sure you leave yourself some space. A lot of people try to write this right underneath and then they don't have space to do their work. So 12x to the third plus 2x squared minus 2x plus 6. We're dividing by 2x plus 2. The plus 2 comes along for the ride. We are really focusing on the 2x. So first cycle, 2x times what gives me 12x to the third? Well, 2 times 6 gives me 12, and x times x squared will give me x to the third. 6x squared times 2x is 12x to the third. 6x squared times 2 is 12x squared. Subtract. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. And then bring the next term down and start the next cycle. In this cycle, I'm doing 2x times something to give me negative 10x squared. 2 times negative 5, and the x has to be multiplied times another x to get my x squared. So negative 5x times 2x is negative 10x squared. Negative 5x times 2 is negative 10x. Subtract. This right here is where the error usually happens. Negative 2 minus negative 10 is positive 8x. On this problem, the place where I normally find the error is right here. Our next and I believe final cycle, 2x times something needs to give us 8x. We already have the x, but we need 2 times 4 to give us that 8. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times 2 is 8. And subtract. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So our remainder is negative 2. Our answer is the stuff up at the top. So we write 6x squared minus 5x plus 4, and then minus 2 over what we originally divided by. I'm going to skip number 10. It's an extra problem. You can see it on my answer key, but it's not similar to the test, so I'm going to skip it to save some time. Number 11, synthetic division. Now again, look for missing terms. I believe on the test, this one does have a missing term, just like it does on here. We start with x to the third, next comes x squared. We need a 0x term before that number. So when we do the synthetic division, we have 1x to the third, 3x squared, 0x, and negative 9. We are dividing by x plus 4, so we put negative 4 outside of the synthetic division. You always use the opposite when you're putting that number in for synthetic division. Drop the 1 down. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and then you add. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4, and then you add. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, and then you add to get negative 25 as your remainder. So our answer, if this is our remainder, the 4 is our number term, the 1 is the x term, or the negative 1 is the x term, and the 1 is the x squared term. So you start with the remainder, and to the left of that is the number, to the left of that is x, and then x squared, and then you continue if necessary. So our answer is x squared minus x plus 4, and our remainder is minus 25 over what we originally divided by. Now, what if, since I have a few extra minutes, what if we do the synthetic division and we end up with, I don't know, 1, negative 2, 3, 0. This would be the remainder. There'd be no remainder. The 3 would be the number term. The negative 2 would be the x term. The 1 would be the x squared term. Your answer for this what if scenario would be x squared minus 2x plus 3. And because the remainder is 0, you don't need to write the remainder term when the remainder is 0. You would just have those 3 terms. So maybe, hint, hint, wink, wink, maybe the synthetic division problem on the test, maybe, might not have a remainder. Maybe, possibly. I mean, you know, there's always that possibility, I guess.